Hi, I did say I would show my 12-volt Zokop fridge slash freezer. This is the 55 quart. Um, so let's get right on to it. This is a 12 volt. It does come with a power plug that lets you plug into the wall. Right there. There's the box down here. Right there. It also comes with a cigarette lighter plug. Now some of these come with a plug that can come apart and you can plug into like a ARB socket. This does not come apart. So my advice, instead of using something like this, would be cut the wire and hardwire this in. Just put some uh, ring terminals on this wire and just hardwire it in if you're going to use it permanently. Now, let me move this out of the way. I'm going to go through a couple things. Now, right here's the controls. I'm not going to go through these right now. It's set for 12. It's on Eco. And the temperature will drop. Of course, every time you open this, the temperature will go up some. The temperature can fluctuate anywhere from 5 to 8 degrees on what you have it set for. You know, like any of these. Alright, now I do not have a lot of food and groceries, so what I do have in here is just something to show you basically what you can put in here. It does come with a spacer, a basket. It comes with a spacer in the middle of the basket. If you take the spacer out, you can actually, pack a lot more food in here. See, right now it's already down to 11. And as soon as I open this, the temperature is going to go up. Now, this is more or less a single zone, but I am using this for a dual zone. And how I'm doing that is right here, it gets coldest. Now this is more like a fridge side from the overflow. And what I figured out is if you want, I should have actually got this out. If you want to keep this from freezing, one, it depends on what your thermostat's set on. And two, if you take something like some foam and put it here and only leave so much space, like an inch and a quarter, fill in this whole center area, then only the cold air will get here on this side and here on this side. It will not let all the cold air through. Something like that. And that will help keep it insulated more on the one side, the freezer side. Yes, this is the freezer side. Now, this is basically a fridge or a freezer, but I will be using this as a dual zone. Basically, this side is freezer, this side is fridge. We do not usually have a lot of stuff as far as our fridge side goes. Now, I can put some, if I didn't have this, or I say I had a half gallon of milk instead of a full gallon, I could put ham and cheese and all kinds of stuff on this side and keep this side frozen. Now I'm going to pull the basket out, and better yet, you know what, I'm just going to throw this stuff in my chest freezer. Let me put my milk up first. And I will show you basically how much this holds. Now here's the spacer I was talking about. It does come out. Without the spacer in there, it does let you have more ways to put food in. But let's get to it. This does not hold a lot. Just some patties here. Most people do not show actual food in here. Now, it depends on how you have it packed. You can actually get a lot more food than what I have in here. And you're probably thinking to yourself, okay, it holds small stuff. What about anything large? Well, would this be large enough for you? As you can see, it is pretty deep. Let me close this. And I'll throw this back up here. Alright, let's get to talking about this. It does have a LED light. This will run off 12 volt. Now this has only been plugged in for a little over an hour. And you can see the frost is already forming. Let's get a measurement. Now this is with the basket in, and like I said, this will come out if you need more space, or you can just take the basket out altogether, because you're pretty much losing a 1/4 inch of space with the basket in there. Now I'm only going to the bottom of the basket, so I figure probably about 14 inches. You do have to give yourself a little bit of space for the lid to close. So actually I figure about 14.5 inches. So 14.5 inches. That is in the freezer side. By figure 10 inches. And let's measure it this way. By 1 foot. So it's 14.5 inches deep, 10 inches wide, and 1 foot across from here to here. Now let's get the fridge side. I would figure about 9.25 inches. No, I go with 9.5 inches. 9.5 inches, because remember, you have to have, this lid has a little lip, and you have to give yourself room for that to close. 9.5 inches by 10.25 across by 6.5 wide. So you can see it's still 8 degrees. It is frosting up. Like I said, this has only been plugged in for about an hour or so. This is 100% 12 volt. It is a compressor. And if you want to use one side for a freezer and one side for a fridge, remember, this is going to fluctuate. You see it's already 9 degrees here. It's going to fluctuate. So if you set this side between 0 and 3 degrees, depending on what you have and what you have over here, it should keep this side cold, but it should not freeze. I would say anywhere from 0 to 5 degrees, because when you do open the door, you do lose some of your cold. I mean, it is absolutely ice cold right here. I could probably freeze ice in this thing. So I will be using this side as a fridge, because we do not have a lot of fridge stuff. This side is not deep enough for a 2-liter soda. I will tell you that now, but a gallon of milk, something like this juice, will fit in here absolutely. And then all your frozen stuff here. Now, this insulation on this is not very thick. The lid is not very thick. I mean, from basically, let me get my tape measure set here. I mean, the walls are only just over 1¼ inch, just over. The front, basically the same. And the back, I'm not sure. Let's see if I can get that. The back is about 1½. So, it's really not that thick as far as the insulation goes. How does this work? Well, it works great. Even on 12 volt. That's on 12. Let me close this door. Keep some of that air in there. Even on 12 volt, which I will hook it up to my 12 volt outside on my solar and show it to you outside. But I did not want to drag all the food in and out of the house. So, right now, I believe these things are around $250. Sorry here, I'm still working on my girlfriend's PS4. I installed her hard drive back in it. And, not the operating system, but the system software. And now I'm having to reinstall all her games. Tales of Arise is the first game I'm installing to make sure it works. So 3 days working on that, and another 3 days going to be working on that. But right here. Now to set this, you go to set. It'll go through the digital, eco, Fahrenheit, Celsius, all this right here. And then here's your temperature up and down. So it's a good little fridge freezer thing. This is the 55 quart. And you're going, okay, for one person this would probably work okay. For two people it may be tough, because 55 quarts is only 1.81 cubic foot. So it is really small. But it does cool down very, very quickly, especially plugged in. And it weighs approximately 43 to 45 pounds empty. And that's why I don't have food in this outside. It would just be too heavy for me to move around like that. Has a decent length of cord. And what I'll do is I will end up hooking this up outside on my solar so I can show you, like I say, on the 12 volt. This is a 12 volt fridge with a 12 volt DC compressor. And so all you have to do is plug it into your car's cigarette lighter. If you're going to run this permanently off a 12 volt, like I said, I would hardwire this in. I would not use your cigarette lighter. As you can see, the temperature just dropped from 12 to 11. I would not use the cigarette lighter in your car for permanent. Temporary, that's fine. But you have to understand your car's cigarette lighter wiring may be too small to carry something like this. Okay, let me shut this off. I will shut the camera off. And see, it just dropped down to 10 from 11. This is how fast this thing's actually cooling down. I don't want to sit on anything here. I'm just going to sit here for a sec. And it is on eco. Let's see how long it takes it to drop down to 9. Right there. It is not taking long to cool. I mean, it is doing a wonderful job of cooling. It is much faster than a regular 8. Than something like this. It is much faster because it's much smaller, and the air is contained in the bottom and then it rises up. See how fast that's dropping? And yeah, I could definitely freeze ice in this. If I put some ice trays in here, I could freeze some ice in probably a couple hours. Um, if you get one of these or any type of ARB fridge or whatever they are, or 12-volt fridges, do you have to buy the most expensive one? No, but that is up to you. This is a Zokop. Okay, let me shut this off. It is already at 4 degrees. Once you first plug this first in, sometimes it can take up to 2 to 3 minutes for it to first kick on. So just be patient with it or any of these. When you first get this, let it rest. I mean, seriously, let it settle. I let this settle when I brought it in the house. I brought it in the house yesterday, and I just set it up here on the chest freezer. And I did not plug this in until this morning. It is 8:03 in the morning. Well, 8:02 by my laptop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make room outside, and I'm going to plug it in outside and show it to you running outside. And I'll splice the videos together, and so you can see it running off a 12 volt. Also, if you're going to run it off a 12 volt, here's the thing. Make sure your fuse is at least 15 amps. Okay? Make sure you have a fuse on there for 15 amps. This does have a fuse right here. So you really need a 15 amp fuse on your line. To be on the safe side, I do have to change my fuse outside. I believe it is a 10 amp fuse. I'll have to see if I have some 15 amp fuses. If not, I'll have to go with a higher fuse. But let me get this situated, and then I'll show it to you running off my solar. Alright, I'll be back. Bye. Okay, I got it outside. I did not set the temperature. I just hooked it up. I'm going to see what it does. As you can see, I have some ice trays. They are nothing but water, as you can tell. I'm going to set them out there. Hopefully don't spill this stuff everywhere, because I'm trying to do this with one hand. Now, I do not have it on. See if I can get this in here without spilling this. Yeah, definitely hold two. It's 8:14 by this clock. 8:19 by that clock, and I gotta hurry because I gotta move that controller again. I don't want her PlayStation going into sleep mode. Alright, we will give it probably an hour, and let's see what it does. See, that's -1. We don't want on -1. Figure 2. It's only 2 degrees. Alright, I will be back. It's 8:19 by that clock. And it is 8:15 by this clock. So, give it an hour or so. How I have it plugged in, right here. Like I said, instead of doing this, right here. I would hardwire it on if you're going to use it permanently. Always make sure your vents have plenty of air. Also, this has a battery selector, medium, high, and low. Alright, I have it on medium. If you leave it on high, it will only draw your battery down a tiny bit and it'll shut this off. Medium is the best setting. If you have it on low, it will drain your battery pretty much to where you're not going to start your car if you have this on a car. Have it on medium or high, but medium right here is the best setting. Alright, once again, and now that's 821. And this says 816. And you can see the basket here. I did take the basket out. You can see this comes out. And if you take it out, you have a little bit more room to stack stuff in there. Or you can just take the basket out if you don't need the basket. You would have a lot more room without the basket in there. Alright, I will be back in an hour or so. This says 817. And then we'll go check on the ice and see what the ice trays are doing. So I will be back. Bye. Alright, it's 8:41 right now by this clock. It's 8:46 by this clock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of these waters. They are warm. And I'm going to throw them in here and see how well this cools down. Yeah, Midnight got himself a bad paw here. He got into a fight with another cat a couple days ago, and he hurt his paw. I can feel the cold air. You can see it's starting to frost up on the sides. I hope you can see this. Now, I don't know if this is going to freeze in an hour, but it looks like it's doing something, so we'll see. Now, it may take more than an hour. But we'll see. Alright, I will be back. Bye. Alright, I'm back. I apologize. It's a little bit later than I thought it'd be. I've been in the middle of working on my girlfriend's PS4. It seems like with a larger hard drive, I can install the games, but as soon as I put the game in to try to play it, nothing. It says unsupported disk. Unfortunately, it's not the hard drive. I've already double checked. I've checked and double checked her hard drive. I did a complete format on the slow part on her hard drive, and it will install the games. But once they're installed, when you put the disc in after they're installed to play the game, then nothing. So I'm going to have to leave my small hard drive in her PlayStation just for her to be able to play a couple of her games. It seems like it won't pick up the large 1 terabyte hard drive, even though it shows it on here. So what now I'm doing now is trying Horizon Zero Dawn. Tales of Arise did install. It did start, and about 10 seconds in, automatically, and game disk is dirty, which it's not. Then unsupported game disk. This has to do with Sony's bullshit. From what I understand, they have screwed up numerous PS4s with their updates, and this is one that unfortunately hit hers. Her PS4 is only a year old. Her newest game is last month, and she can't even play it on this hard drive. And like I said, I checked and double checked the hard drive, made sure there's no bad sectors, everything's working fine. It does take the information and store it on the hard drive, but as soon as you try to play the game, nothing. So I will have to put the small hard drive back in here for her to be able to play anything. And that really pisses me off because this PlayStation was $400 damn dollars. And then Tales of Arise was $50 by itself. So yeah, I'm really pissed about this. So I'm going to see what games will install on this. If nothing works with this hard drive, I may have to replace the hard drive with a 500 gigabyte and see what that does. We'll see. Anyway, it is 9:52. I apologize. I got busy with her PlayStation 2. I also want to talk to you about something real quick. If you're going to use one of these 12-volt fridges in a vehicle, van, car, um, something you're staying in, a camper trailer, whatever, avoid using the AC plug unless you are plugged into shore power or off a generator. Now, the reason I'm saying this is because your batteries would be here. When you have a battery, it's DC current, then you put it, your DC-AC, inverter. As you can tell, I'm flustered from that PS4. Your DC to AC inverter takes your DC power, switches it to AC. Now what this does is take AC power and switches it back to DC. So you're going to have power loss in your inverter, in the cables, extra cables, plus power loss here to convert it down. So you get much better energy efficiency if you're running this straight from DC instead of using an inverter on this. Alright, I apologize. It was 8:13, I believe, when I took it out there. It's already almost 10. So I apologize for that. So at 10:13 would be 2 hours. Figure 13 more minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. Another 20 minutes would be 2 hours. So it's basically been out there an hour and 40 minutes. Let's go check it out. Now you can see my batteries right here, 1269. It is straight from 12 volt. Okay, make sure those are somewhat tight. Now I am warning you now, if you get something like this and you set it in the sun, this is going to get hot. I mean, really hot. Yeah, I can barely touch that. Oh yeah, that's definitely hot. That's hot, but not as hot as this. And this is really hot. Now, of course, this is sitting straight in the sun. So you would not have your fridge sitting straight in the sun. Alright, let's see what it's doing. It is freezing ice. And you can see up here maybe a little ice forming around the top here. I hope you can see that. And it is freezing the ice trays. Now remember, these work much better if there's actually stuff in them. And this is more or less empty. Yeah, that's definitely cold enough to drink. It's cold. Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, that's hot. Let's turn this off. Don't need that on. Now this is going to draw quite a bit of power while it's cooling down. I'm sorry, I had to come in the house. It's just, whew. And it's hot out there. It's probably 89 degrees out there now, and plus in the sun, it's really hot. So, is something like this good for you? That's entirely up to you. You see what it can do. It is running off 12 volt. Once again, instead of using the plug down there, the 12 volt plug, if at all possible, either get another cable and cut it and make it hardwired, or cut this cable and make it hardwired if you're going to have the fridge basically in one place. These 12 volt plugs that you plug in, the round ones, they tend to pop out. and they don't get a good connection sometimes. So if you're going to use something like this in a vehicle, definitely hardwire it in. Alright, that's it. I'm fixing to go. Everyone have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed it. This is my Zokop 55 quart. Once again, 55 quarts is basically 1.81 cubic feet, so it is not that big. So, and this is a rather large one. There was something I was going to do. Where did I put that? I apologize. I put that up. I was going to measure this outside for you. So if you're wanting to put it up underneath something, basically it is 21 and just over 21 and a half inches tall at the tallest part, which is at the front here, right here. 21 and a half inches tall. So basically give yourself 22 inches. Now the hard part is getting the measurement with the handles. I'd say 26 inches. Give yourself 26 and a quarter, even 26 and a half from the outside of this handle to the outside of this handle, so 26 and a half. And this does bow out a little bit here, so 13 and 3/4 it looks like. But you want to give yourself extra room where the air vents are. Yeah. Now I do have this hooked up to my 400 watts of solar, so it does have power coming in. I would not try to run this off a single lead acid battery, especially for long periods of time, unless you have a way to charge that battery. Like if it's in your vehicle and you have to run your vehicle, you can charge your battery up, but make sure that battery's isolated. But I don't think this would run more than, oh geez, I'm not even sure how long it would run on a lead acid battery, especially a starter battery. I do have a dual cycle marine battery in my van, so it would run a lot longer on that than just a starter battery. But anyway, this is the Zokop 55 quart, which will be, I believe, 58 liters, which is 1.81 cubic foot. And these run around $250, I believe. So if you're interested in one, it doesn't have that Dan Fong compressor, whatever it is. It's just a cheap compressor. It's a cheap freezer unit. You can use it for a fridge or a freezer, or if you get your settings set right, you can use it for both. And that's it. I am fixing to go, and everyone have a good day. I hope you enjoyed seeing it, and bye.